on. It's a little discombobulated today. Let's see, how do I do that? Live. There we are. Okay. We are live on Instagram, live on Facebook. Let's set up our yes, we want to do that. And we want to set up our chat protections. So, hi, Miss Chris. Hi. All right, so yes, and we want to set up our protected comments so that, okay, so if we set up these protected comments on Facebook, then it cuts down on our spammers. So we don't seem to have that problem on Instagram, so that's good. So hello, everybody. Hello. Oh my goodness, what a day. What an amazing day. It's an amazing day. The sun is shining. We're in the full moon energy, and it feels a little but in a really good way. This is full moon in Libra, was just yesterday, so we're still in it. We're still in that full moon energy, and you've heard me say 100 times, the energy goes up to the full moon, comes back down as we get into the new moon, and the full moon is the time of releasing things that do not serve you. But here we are in this full moon, and in this particular full moon, this is the worm moon. Was a supermoon, and this is also a time when we're going to see the resurfacing of old wounds. And I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling that. People I thought I forgave, things I thought I closed the door on, things I thought I let go of. And I'm going to grab my slinky for this because we do move forward. We do move forward. And it's so important to do that. But at the same time, people say, how come I'm still coming around to deal with the same thing? Okay, so maybe you came around and you were dealing with it here. And now you're coming back around the circle and you're dealing with it here or here. So you're going to come around and deal with those same things over and over again. You're going to, excuse me, you're going to come back and repeat those things. It's not necessarily, excuse me, it's not necessarily that you didn't get it or you didn't finish or you didn't forgive or release or, you're stuck. It's not necessarily those things. We come around to the same lessons over and over again because we have more aspects of it to learn. So I mean, look, using my slinky for lots of different things, but we come around and we learn this lesson and we say, okay, I forgave that person. But then when things start to come up again right now, like with the full moon and things are coming up, to be able to say, why is this coming back up for me? It's because there's another level, a higher level, a bigger picture. Maybe there's something deeper that, you've forgiven on the surface, but there's something deeper that you haven't connected with yet, or you haven't really let go. I think sometimes that has, a lot of times that has a lot to do with forgiving ourselves and letting ourselves off the hook. I know in things that I have had to deal with for myself, I was able to forgive the other person. The other person was able to forgive me faster than I was able to forgive myself. So there are parts of that. So you're not wrong. You're not missing it. You're not doing it wrong. It's not that you didn't, release or whatever. But as we continue to evolve, we go to the next level of that. And so here you have this next level. So allow yourself that you are evolving, and that just because you are coming around to that same thing again doesn't mean that you failed or did it wrong or any of those things, because we're so quick to just beat the crap out of ourselves, aren't we? And so allow that you may be processing this now at a higher level, at the next generation. If you have okay, anything. So I had knee surgery. I can't just jump off the new level, new devil. Absolutely, Chris Judd. Absolutely. So, okay, I had knee surgery. I can't just jump up the next day of the knee surgery and be running around. So you've heard me, if you've been around the last couple of months, you've heard me as I'm struggling through my recovery, and I am recovering. I hate it. I'm not, because it's not going as fast as I wanted to go. And in my mind, I realize, and this is quite the literal, because as part of this full moon cycle, we are revisiting old wounds. And so if you want to be literal about it, here it is literal. I hurt myself. I had knee surgery. I wanted to have this knee surgery and say, okay, I've had knee surgery. I'm done. I'm done with this injury. I can be out of pain. I don't have to do anything else. I'm done, right? To be able to say they fixed it. That's it. Close the door, right? How stupid does that sound? Well, I don't want to, how silly, right? How silly. Because of course I'm not going to hop right up off that operating table and be like, let's go. So it's a struggle. And I'm now, so I came from, I couldn't walk at all, to then I was walking with crutches. Then I was like, not putting weight. And then I was walking, putting weight, but with crutches. Then I was walking with one crutch. Then I'm walking without crutches, but really slowly. So it's a process, right? It's a process. It's no different. That healing, it's no different from, it's no different from this. So when you say, oh, these things are coming and these old wounds are coming up and things are coming back around, it's a process. And we are so quick to berate ourselves for not being insta fixed. And that is not how it goes. And if you had a recent blog post where I talked about Jeremy Bearimy, and if you've followed me for any kind of time, you've probably heard me talk about Jeremy Bearimy, who is not a person, it's a thing. If you have ever seen the TV show A Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, it's definitely worth watching. But in one of the later episodes, Ted Danson explains how time works. And time works as if you were to write in script, in cursive, the name Jeremy Bearimy, and how the letters loop back on themselves. This is how time works. We humans, we think that time is linear. We have today, we have tomorrow, we have the next day, we have yesterday. That is a human construct. That is not how time works. And so we have this Jeremy Bearimy, where we are constantly looping back around on ourselves, where we are revisiting these different aspects. And so whatever is coming back up for you, it is not a failure on your part. It is not that you didn't release it, you didn't forgive it, you didn't, but whatever. Because again, we're so quick to judge ourselves, and we're so quick to be like, I somehow failed this thing, when that's not the truth. We are moving up, we are evolving, we are moving into higher vibrations, and you may need to get a little deeper with your healing or your releasing. I forgive this person. I forgive what they did. I forgive all those things. Did I forgive myself? If I forgave them, have I released all my feelings about it? Can I look at that person or think of that person and feel only love and compassion and caring and wanting the best for that person? Or do I still want to kill them? That's the next levels. So you can forgive them down here, and you can release all the anger and hostility and all the negative feelings. Can you feel love and compassion and only want the best for that person? So as things are coming back up for you, understand you didn't fail. You're not doing it wrong. It's just the next level. Okay. So we welcome those things. Yes. New level, new devil. All right. So one of the things that I want to say before we even get into the cards, we're going to do the cards and then we're going to answer some questions. One of the things that I want to say is that, because this card has come up a couple of times, it was the card that says no. It just simple, yes, there's a yes card, there's a no card. This was the card that said no. And it's come up a couple of times. And the reason I want to mention this before I even open the cards is because one of the things that's really involved in this full moon cycle is patience, because things are not necessarily looking clear to us, and we may jump and run in and make a snap decision and think we know the information. My husband was on the phone with somebody, and he was across the room. I was kind of waving, trying to get his attention. I said, can you ask the person on the phone this question for me? Because I knew who he was on the phone with. Well, come to find out after he was done, and he's like, give me a second. And he gets off the phone. He goes, that wasn't the company that I was trying to reach, that was their answering service. So there was no point to ask the question because there was, that wasn't the actual company. And in my mind, I saw him dial, I saw him make the phone call, I heard him ask his questions, and then in the conversation that I could not hear on the other end of the phone, they were saying they were not the company, they were the answering service, but I was very certain. So there was no fight or argument or anything like that, but one of the things that I kept hearing in my mind was just be patient. Things may not be what they seem. And so that's one of the messages that's really coming through in this particular full moon cycle is what is going on may not be exactly what you think. And so just remember that you may not have all the information. We think we do, right? We think we do, but you may not have the other person's full perspective. And so allow that situation to unfold. So remember that the no card, now we don't know if it's going to come up for this week, but the no card has come up a couple of times in the last few weeks, moving into this time, and this is a time of uncertainty. So as we move through the full moon, next week I think is going to be a better time. But for the moment, what I want to say is it kept coming in again that patience is still the order of the day. Patience is still the order of the day. So I wanted to give that for you as well. So as we do that, we're going to grab our box of the Oracle of the Seven Energies, and we're going to see which energy is going to be guiding us for this week. As you know, I always like to shuffle the cards with you so that you can hear me do it. You can see me do it if you are, paying attention, because I feel like I don't ever want to pull the cards before I connect with you, and I don't ever want to pull the cards before I connect with the energy of my guides and those folks in spirit who have committed to helping us along the way. So our energy card for this week, is going to be bearing fruit. Bearing fruit. And bearing fruit is going to be into the, let me see, I just want to double check because sometimes the colors are hard for me to see. I want to understand bearing fruit. This is, okay, so this is the second energy. So this is with Colette Baron-Reid's Oracle of the Seven Energies card deck, and I love this, but where I'm looking for, where I got a little bunch of this, is up here. It gives a number and a color, and the color tells me which chakra that this card is connected to. So does the color on the on here, but the color on the card is, because this is bearing fruit, and the color on the card is red, so that would give me root chakra or base chakra, but actually this color and this number is giving into the sacral chakra. And so it's important to make sure that we are connecting into the right place. I love this idea of, if you're looking at this card, it really is showing this images of fall and how things are, going to shift. Things have to die to be reborn. But where we are right now, we're in spring, right? We're in the season of spring, and we're not yet in the time of bearing fruit, but we are coming to that season where things are going to start blooming. And things bloom when we have patience to cultivate them and to nurture them as they go along. Comes back to our slinky. We come to new levels, right? We build roots, we come to seedlings, and then we can have flowers and bear fruit. So this is all part of that. Patience is the order of the day. In order for us to bear fruit, we must be willing to cultivate what we are curating. You can't just say, I wanna, and then expect it to pop into your lap. It doesn't work that way. You can manifest things, but you have to be an active participant. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so we've got the Goddess Power cards. I do like to add in and see which goddesses are with us today. And we do have a jumper in the goddesses today, so we may end up with more than one goddess. So we'll see what that's about in a second. All right, so our goddess today that's going to be guiding us is Hera, Goddess of Alliance. Hera, and we're going to grab the book. Remember to put my glasses on. Hera, and she is number 20. Because I don't know a ton about the goddesses, but I am absolutely loving including them into our readings. I want to tell you, I literally just opened exactly to her page. So that is always a good sign. Hera is the Greek goddess, the wife of Zeus. I knew that. And she knew intimately that positive alliances lead to great power. At this moment, you are magnetized to receive aid from people who have greater wisdom and can help you to move to the next level. We don't have to worry about the how. We are aligning ourselves with those who are vibrating higher, and this that we are attracting those into our lives. This is going to work better if you are vibrating yourself at that place of love or above, and if you are believing that you have the capability of manifesting. So I just said a minute ago, you can't just think something and say, I want this, and then just turn around and do nothing about it. We must raise our vibration, and we must believe that it is coming to us. And when you do that, you are calling in the power of Hera to help you form alliances that will help you to move forward, whether that is terrestrial alliances with people who are here on Earth that you are going to be able to connect with, or whether that is alliances with those in spirit, or that the universe is simply aligning things for you so that things can come to fruition for you. But being in that positive expectancy, we talked about that when we talked about the ritual of the 2 cups. We talked about drinking the water and being in that positive expectancy. You can go back and watch that video. I think it's maybe 2 weeks ago. You can also find it on my YouTube channel as well. And thank you, Robin, for posting my link tree on the Facebook page that has all of the places you can find me. But when we have that positive expectancy, when we are believing that the universe is working on our behalf to bring these things to us, it makes a huge difference. When you have that belief, you can create those alliances. You vibrate, you attract those people and those situations that can help you. So that is keeping your belief that only blessings are coming, keeping your vibration higher, keeping yourself into that place of love or above. Now I do want to grab this other card. This is Yi. She is the sun goddess. And what number are you? 51. She is the sun goddess, Yi. And that is YHI, because I know Krista is going to ask me that. And she is the sun goddess. When you shine your light into the world, okay, seriously, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. The cards align in the most spectacular ways, and this is why I don't like to just jump right into psychic readings with you all. I want to show you the power of what we can create. So this is Yi. When you shine your light into the world, you will attract various people and experiences that match or challenge your commitment to being empowered. Right now, you're receiving information to know which choice to make, which opportunity to take, and which person to trust. The Aboriginal Australian sun goddess Yi illuminates your path with her rays and brings clarity as she shows you what you need to know. Hello? Is that literally not what we just said? Literally what we just said. Now, the book goes on. It does say, a bright light also brings a lot of bugs. So know that you may also attract those who are vibrating lower, those who may be, energy suckers or energy vampires, things like that. So, but what happens is when we stay in that energy of love or above, where we are vibrating at a higher resonance, when we are moving and operating from the place of love. How can I bring more love to this situation? How can I bring more light to this situation? When we are operating from that place, we cannot help but attract the goddesses and the energies and the beings and the situations that are going to help us. And what happens in that vibration of love or above, and I'm never going to say it's going to protect you from crappy things from happening, because we're all going to have crappy things that happen. There's always going to be something, but we have so much better ability to deal with them when those things happen, rather than it being this monumental thing. It becomes a hiccup or a speed bump instead of just a whole crisis situation when we operate from that position of love or above. And when we stay in that vibration of love or above, we have the ability to say, what can I bring to this situation? And we view it from a very different lens. Think of it this way. You are at the grocery store and you get to the checkout counter and you've got all your stuff and you realize, oh my gosh, I have left my wallet at home. Now, if you are operating in a place of love or above, you may have a very different response and say, oh, well, that stinks. How can I solve this problem? Okay, how can I bring some love to this? You say, okay, is there any way that you can take my groceries and put them in the refrigerator and I will run home and get my wallet and I will come back? Okay. Chances are the grocery store is going to say yes, because I'm sure it happens at least once a day. Busy moms, busy people. If you are not operating from that place of love or above, when you get to that moment, you are much more likely to just have your head explode and come apart. And then you start snapping at the check person and snapping at the people. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's just an accident. It's a thing that happened. But when we are operating from love or above, we have a much better ability to handle the situation. And we also have a much better ability to expect and receive a more positive outcome. Now, for my Instagram fam today, I did put on my story to ask me questions, and one of the questions came in from my friend Lori English, who's an amazing life coach. One of the questions came in is, how do you shift your energy? So I want to make sure to answer that. I was going to wait till we were done with the cards, but it seems like we're kind of in that place right now. So I'm going to shuffle the Work Your Light Oracle cards, and we'll get them ready, and then we'll go into, we'll talk about the cards in a second. When you are in the position to shift your energy, because we've all been in those situations where we're on the edge of, is my head going to explode or can I pull this back in, right? So there are lots of different ways that we can shift energy, okay? When we're in a hot spot and we need to shift our energy and raise our vibration, we take a breath in and we hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. Do it again. Just that simple act of breathing can calm you down, bring lots of oxygen into your body. When we get stressed out, we breathe up here. We breathe up here, but our lungs are down here. And the part of our lungs that has the filtration system, our lungs have the cilia inside, these hairs that filter the air and pull all the contaminants out. And the part of the lungs that has the high concentration of the hair is at the bottom. Okay, up here at the top of our lungs, it's not as dense, and down here at the bottom is where all the hair is, all the good filtration is. But when we get stressed out, we breathe up here. We go, but what we really need to do when we're stressed out is breathe down here. Breathe down here. Okay, so that's one way we can change our energy as we breathe. And we breathe. Crystals. Crystals is another great way to shift your energy. I wear crystals on my wrists. I wear crystals around my neck. I often, if I'm going out, if we're going to Disney or something, or going out with a lot of people, which right now is not so happening so much, I will put crystals in my bra. But we have crystals, and I keep crystals on my desk. This is a rose quartz that I wear around my neck. This is a selenite, which is also wonderful. So crystals can really help to shift our energy. And I just take the crystal in my hand, and I'm going to take it in my right hand because I'm a lefty, which means my outgoing energy is my left hand and my incoming energy is my right hand. Okay, there is a lot of information about the dominant side and the male side and the female side, but we're also talking about energy has to do with what is dominant for you. Your outgoing energy is how you are receiving and sending out energy. It is your dominant side is outgoing and your non-dominant side is incoming. And so for me, I am a lefty, so my right hand is my incoming. So I take the crystal in my palm chakra and I'm holding it, may hold it to my heart. And I just ask the crystal to please help me. Crystals are sentient beings. It's really an amazing thing. They can't walk and talk like we can, but they are extremely intelligent. We have crystal energy because crystals are made of the earth. So crystals have that earth intelligence. They have cellular memory just like we do. And we can ask them to help us. We can talk to the crystals. This is why it's important to clean them and wash them, put them in salt water, put them in the moon, whatever it is that you're doing that works for you to clean your crystals. But it is so important that we care for them because we can literally talk to them. And I thank my crystals all the time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you for coming to me. Thank you for what you do to protect me. And when I ask the crystals for something, because they are smarter than me, they are smarter than we, and I say, this is what I'm looking for, or something better. And when I ask to the higher, when I ask to the guides, I say the same thing, this or something better. I want whatever they can see that may be better than what I can see, because they all got a better view. This or something better, this or something more, this or something better. So we live in a place of gratitude. We live in a place of gratitude. We get stuck, we get frustrated. You say, okay, I'm grateful right now. There is There's an old movie. It's old by now. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Julia Roberts and John Cusack. It was called America's Sweetheart. Such a cute movie. Billy Crystal, lots of great people in this movie. And John Cusack is this very stressed out movie star, and he's got to, get back into a stressful situation. And you can watch him during certain scenes in the movie, so where he's like, "I'm grateful for the sun, I'm grateful for the moon, I'm grateful to be alive, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm great." And he's like talking to himself into this place of gratitude and reminding himself, even through gritted teeth, he is reminding himself of that he has so much to be grateful for. But sometimes that's how it is. But when you do that, we can talk ourselves back down. I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. But what happens is the more you realize that you have to be grateful for, you can release, because we have so much to be grateful for. Right? Even if it is just to take that next breath, we are grateful. Okay. So when we can stay in that place of love and gratitude, it changes our energy, and it can really help us stay in that love or above vibration, right? So, yay, hearts on Instagram. Yay. Here's another one. I love to go out and stand in my yard barefooted. Now, I do want to watch out for ants. But what's interesting is I find when I am putting my energy into Mother Earth, I've never once been bitten by ants. Now, I do watch where I step. I also have 3 dogs, so I watch where I step on my grass. But I stand barefoot in the grass, and I just feel Mother Earth's energy coming up into me and fueling me and strengthening me and wrapping me in her love. And then, of course, if you can see, through the window blinds, there is a tree right outside my window, and this is Nahama. She is my tree. She guards my house. We recently had some folks here to give us a bit about doing some work on our septic system, and one guy said, "We're going to have to take out the tree." And I said, "Thank you very much for coming," because that's not going to happen. So connecting ourselves with the tree, connecting ourselves with the earth energy. Do you know how old that tree is? I mean, she's ancient, and she's beautiful, and she is the guardian of my home. She puts this bubble of protective energy and love around it, and I thank her every single day as I come in and go out of my house. And when I can go over there right now, I can't, she's got little walls around her, and I can't quite get up over the walls to get up and put my hands on her. To be able to connect with tree energy, putting your hand, again, your receiving hand on the tree. And then we always want to say thank you. So I put my sending out hand, my dominant energy hand, my launching energy hand. I want to put that on the tree, and we make a circle, and I thank her for the energy she gives me, and the wisdom and the guidance and the peace and the calm. And then I want to give her my love and gratitude back. I don't want to take without receiving. I want to complete the circuit. I want to take her energy and wisdom and love with my gratitude. I want to give that gratitude and love back to her so that the trees are energized. I don't want to take without receiving. There have been times when I have been traveling for my job where I have been in a hotel or in a convention center, and I have walked out the door and simply like looked around. I said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I need trees. Where is there a tree? I need a mature tree. Take me to a place where there are trees," because you can connect your energy to the trees. If there's a park near you, if you have a mature tree on your property, make friends with the trees. It's a wonderful way to shift your energy is through the trees, through Mother Earth, and it's free because they're there. And at the same time, we're doing something really wonderful for the trees, and we're doing something really wonderful for the earth, because when we are energizing the trees and showing them our love and our gratitude, they're producing more of the chlora, whatever, carbon monoxide, dioxide that cleans our air. So we are fueling them and feeding them, and they are fueling and feeding us, and they are protecting us at the same time and helping to clean our air. So it's important that we are doing that, because we are fueling the trees as they are fueling us. Okay, so many different ways to clear and change and shift your energy. I don't think we need to go in the other direction from, high to low. I think we all have experience of how we can put our energy in the basement pretty quick. So we're not going to spend any time on that, because I think we're always looking on how do we raise our energy to love or above. Also, I'm a huge fan of the gratitude journal. If you don't, have a gratitude journal, I actually have journals. Journals for everything. So if you don't have a gratitude journal, I really encourage you to get one, where you can just write down. And I use one journal, and every year, and I number. I started January 1st, and I number 1, and I try and write 5 or 6 things a day. And my goal is that at the end of the year on December 31st, that there are more things for me to be grateful for this year than there were last year. So at the end of the year, I look at the number and I say, that's the end of 2020. Even in 2020, there was over 200, almost 300 things for me to be grateful for through the year. And then to be able to say unique things, because some things repeat, and then at the end of the next year to be able to say this is a new year. Did I have more things to be grateful for? Of course I did. So did I write them all down? I tried my best. So when I start writing in that book, and that's another place where I feel like I'll just pick up that book. I'll pick up that gratitude journal. I'll pick up that book and I'll start writing, because sometimes I do just start writing. I am grateful for the sun. I am grateful for the sky. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for what, and then I can get into things that are more, that are a little deeper. Because when I'm frustrated, and I get frustrated too, when I'm frustrated, that's a great opportunity for me to say, let me get my gratitude journal. I need an energy shift, and I can use that book, just picking it up and start writing in it, even if it just says I'm grateful for my life. Because don't get me wrong, every single day, I am grateful for my life. I have fought very hard to have the life that I want, and I'm very grateful to still be alive. And so when I get in that place of frustration or low energy, that is the first thing that I will write in my gratitude journal. I am still alive. There's a Thich Nhat Hanh quote that I absolutely love. It says, because you are alive, everything is still possible. And I think that is really that is so true. That is a huge theme of my latest blog post that was put up a week or two, maybe 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't seen it, and that's of interest to you, you find that on my website. All right, so we have the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle cards for the last 3 cards. And so we have Akasha. We start with the Akashic records, because your experiences are divinely guided. We've seen the Akashic records card come up before. That reminds us that everything is there for us. Everything is recorded. Everything that is or was or will be is connected and contained in our Akashic records, and that we can learn to, through a meditation, to go to our Akashic records, to view our Akashic records, to experience them, and to be able to shift things. Because it is possible to go back into a previous life and change outcomes of things in a previous life, and be able to shift that cellular memory and that karmic memory and that energy as we go forward, to change how we view things in this life, because we fixed things from the past. It doesn't have any kind of, space-time continuum, affectations or anything like that, because we're fixing these things within our own genetic memory and our own soul experience. But being able to visit your Akashic records and heal your Akashic records, and frankly, just knowing that you have them, this library of everything that ever was or will be in your lifetimes, in your soul, that you have this repository of knowledge that you can go to and get guidance. It is such a powerful and love-based thing. If it was not a universe based of love, we would not have such a resource available to us. And I remind myself of that every day. Oh, okay. So we've seen, this is the Lemuria card. We've seen the Lemuria card come up a lot lately. And this is, again, this reminder that we are on the right track, that we are going in the right direction, that it is possible for us to raise our vibrations to a place where we are living in peace. And that even when we see terrible things that are happening, that they are all part of moving up to the next levels. All part. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating when we see somebody, another young Black person, gunned down by a police officer. It's frustrating when we see another group of Republican lawmakers completely ignoring the will of the voters in the districts and states they represent. It's frustrating to see this, that. It's frustrating to see people not wearing masks. It's frustrating to see the variants of the coronavirus spreading and hoping that the vaccinations are moving faster than the variants. It's frustrating. But this is all part of, we revisit the same things at new levels of consciousness, new levels of understanding. And so the Lemuria card reminds us that the only way that we get to this place of world peace, of high vibration, of love or above, of living in peace, is through evolution. the evolution of our spirit, the evolution of humanity, the evolution of the soul. And remember, we are in this time of the throat chakra. We are in the time of humanity's evolution. If you follow evolution through the chakras, we are in this time of the throat chakra, the time of the voice, the time of the voice. So interesting that we're also in a time where we have to cover our face, which means we have to work harder to make our voices heard. We have to work harder to make our voices heard through the masks, but we can still be heard. And peace in our hearts and in our nations is still possible. It has been in existence here on earth before, and it can come again. And so here we have the Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. Now, she comes in upside down. She comes in upside down, which is an alignment message, which reminds us to stay connected. It says, hey, you're not being connected. You're upside down. You're not. Doesn't mean the opposite. It just reminds us to stay connected. It reminds us to, and this is exactly what I was so pleased to have Lori's question come in today, of how do we shift our energy? Because when we shift our energy, we get connected. We stay connected. And this is a reminder that we need to shift our energy, that we need to stay connected. So through meditation, journaling, grounding. You can even buy a mat that you plug into the wall that has grounding energy. You put your feet on it and you can ground, or earthing. They call it earthing. This is a reminder to stay connected. It's a reminder for us to be connected, stay connected. That is a conscious choice. Raising our vibrations is a conscious choice. Okay. We look at the things that are going on around us, and we can either go down the rabbit hole into hate and anger, or we can stay in the place of love or above. Okay. And sometimes we do both. Sometimes we express frustration over here, and then we say, all right, I have gotten that out of my system. Now, how do I bring love to the situation? Okay. And that's okay. It's okay to have those moments where you're like, I have to vent this out, and then to be able to say, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? Because we never want to put a lid on that pot. When you put the lid on the pot, what happens is the steam builds up and the top blows off. So we're not trying to put the lid on the pot. We're trying to allow for expression and say, okay, this is frustrating me, but when we stay in the place of love or above, we stay in the place of love and gratitude. We say, this is not acceptable. I'm going to work to change it. This is not acceptable. I'm going to make moves to fix this, whether it's in myself, whether it's in my community, whether it's in the larger universe. I want to be part of the solution. And this reminds us back where we were from the very, very start. Spring is coming. We will reap the harvest if we will sow. We will be patient. There was one meme I put up a couple weeks ago that talked about, you put your seeds in the ground and you're not continually looking in the dirt to see if they're growing. You trust that they're growing. We will reap the harvest, but it is about patience. It is about patience. There are things that we are planting in our societies, in our lives, in the ground. They will bear fruit. We have Hera, who is with us, the goddess of alliances, and she was joined today by Yi, who is the sun god, and that the two of them together are bringing into our lives the people and the opportunities that will help us move forward and that will help us vibrate at a higher level. They are bringing those alliances to us. When we stay, and I love that Yi is the goddess of the sun, when we stay in the light, right? We stay connected to the light. We have the ability to create Lemuria. We have the ability to work towards a utopian society, to work towards peace. And I will tell you that peace, world peace, starts peace. What is the song? The Christmas song. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, right? Let there be, I don't know the song. Peace on earth and let it begin with me. I don't know the song. Jewish girl. Anyway, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Because when I'm vibrating higher, right, we have the ripples in the water, which we've talked about so many times. When I am vibrating higher, then the people that I come in contact with, the situations I come in contact with, are able to vibrate higher because I have brought more love or light to that situation and left that situation better than it was when I arrived. That is the goal. And that is how we create Lemuria. That is how we create peace on earth. We start with ourselves. How can I bring more light and more love to that situation? Because then the people who are in that situation are going to fan that out and bring that over to where they are. It is a team effort, but it must start with ourselves. We bring more light to the situation, and that is how we spread the light and the love around. And we trust. We trust in the universe. We know that we have this amazing resource in the Akashic Records and our loved ones in spirit, our angels, our guides. We have so much support. And I think that when we get out of that place of love or above, we forget we have so much support. There is so much there to help us and to guide us along the way. We must stay connected, right? This is Sisterhood of the Rose. We must stay connected to source, stay connected to Mother Earth energy, stay connected to each other, stay connected to each other. One of the things that I think that this pandemic has done in the beginning, it put us all in our boxes and we all went like this. But over time, we all came out of our boxes and we all started to reach out and connect with other people and say, oh, I have to check in on my neighbor. Oh, I want to make sure my family is okay. Oh, let me reach out to this person. And over time, we have been able to use the technology to connect more than we did without this pandemic. And so we are reminded to stay connected, stay plugged into the light, plugged into Mother Earth, plugged into love and gratitude. That is always the answer. Always the answer. Okay, I think that was all I was supposed to tell you today. I hope this is, oh, hello. I hope that this has been helpful for you. If there are any questions, I want to thank my friend Lori English for her excellent question, perfectly timed and perfectly contained in our guidance for today, our channeled information. If you missed, please go ahead, if you came in late, please go ahead and go back and watch from the beginning. I love your comments. I always try to go back and answer if I missed a question or a comment before we ended. If you would be open to questions, I appreciate the message for my best self. I want to say to you, my friend Chris Judd, I want to say to you, patience comes in immediately for you. And I want to say about being nice to you. I feel like I listened to this really interesting podcast the other day that was talking about two Black gentlemen from the same neighborhood who happened to have the same name, and this gentleman wrote a book about it, and this was an interview about him in his book. I'll get the name of it, but he went through hard times. He went through military school. He ended up with an incredible career in the military, very, very successful, financial planner or whatever. He went through all these things to become very, very successful. His namesake, another man from his same neighborhood with the same name, went through all of the trials and tribulations of a ghetto and gang violence, and went to jail for murder. And in the conversation, somebody said to the first gentleman, it's a shame that the man in jail didn't live up to his expectations. And you're fine. And the author of the book said, no, the shame of it is that he did live up to the expectations, that the expectations on him were so low that was the bar he aimed for his whole life. He was only expected to be a criminal. He was only expected to do so much, whereas the other man was expected to do much more, and he rose to that. And so I want to bring this back to Chris, who says, what is a message for my highest good? And I want to say to you that you have humongous expectations for yourself, which is fantastic. I want you to be nice to yourself. I hear in my head that sometimes you move your bar around and you beat yourself up for not hitting your bar. And I feel like sometimes your bar is too high, and then other times your bar is too low. And I want to say to you that wherever you choose to put your bar, And you've heard me say this before, even baby steps forward are still steps forward. And when, as long as you are stepping forward, congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back. We want to go across. We pat ourselves. We don't want to pat this way. We want to go across. Trust the energy. Pat yourself on the back and appreciate how awesome and fabulous you are as you go forward, because I feel like sometimes you have this expectation that you should be here when you're here, and it's fantastic because you used to be here. And so allowing yourself the opportunity to grow at your pace and not at someone else's, because I feel like you sometimes are in competition with this invisible ghost behind you saying go faster, when you're really on the right track. So I hope that that makes sense, because that is what I feel that I am meant to tell you today. I do see there's a question on Instagram, so hang on, let's see what we've got over there. I need glasses. How can you shift energy? Can you please connect with my mom, Maria, about my healing? I can't see the whole question. Mom's name is Maria. Okay. About my healing. Ooh, knocked myself in the head. So I'm not sure if you're still there on Instagram. I hope that you are. If not, maybe you'll be able to come back and see this. But what I feel like is there's something in my abdomen that is concerning as far as that. And but I do want to say to you that you also have healing in you. And I feel like your body is trying to heal. I feel like that there is, that you are, that there, would you understand if I say to you that I feel like your body is trying to heal and you're not always being as supportive to the body as your body could be? Like, so for me, for my knee, I am trying to heal my knee. I'm trying to allow my knee to heal. I'm taking the anti-inflammatories. I'm doing the ice, but then I go out for my walk and I push myself a little too much. I set myself back. So I feel like there are times when my personal behavior is at odds with what is best for the healing of my body. Does that make sense? Because I feel like that's what they're showing me. And it's hard. It's a hard lesson. And I want to say that I think that that's where they're pointing me, is that your body is trying to heal. And yes, not patient enough. And your body is trying to heal, but your actions are not necessarily in alignment with that. And so that's where I want to point you. So hopefully that is helpful for you. I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. I'm so sick of this, I can't tell you. But I am grateful. I am grateful every day for the progress that I am making. And so I will come back to Chris. I am making baby step strides, literally baby step strides. And this morning I went, so I'm up to walking 1.8 miles, so it's still slow. But this morning, as I came around to back to my driveway in front of my house, I was like, oh, I'm only at 1.77, and so here I am walking in front of my house, back and forth in my driveway, back and forth, to be able to get to 1.8, because I just wanted to. I didn't want to end my walk time this morning going backwards. Even if I went slower today, which I did, I still wanted to have that one step forward. So we've talked about this, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back is still going forward, right? We're still going forward. And so we give ourselves grace and compassion and gratitude for the progress that we are making, because it is too easy to go in the other direction and beat ourselves up for what we're not doing or what we're not being and how not enough we are, when the truth is that we are so much enough, so much enough. And we give ourselves grace and we give ourselves pats on the back across for how awesome that we are, for the accomplishment that we had in that day, because a baby step forward is still a step forward. All right. I love you. I love you, Facebook people. I love the Instagram fam. And I hope you have a marvelous, wonderful rest of your week. Join me right back here in both of these places on Wednesday night for meditation for meditation at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We'll have a little conversation. We'll have our meditation, and then we will be right back here next Monday. So thank you for being with. Thank you for joining. Kathy Cotton Dunlap, can I get a message from Spirit? Oh, I just closed my brain. We're going to pull you a card. Kathy, I don't want to say no. We're going to say, oh, okay, I'll pull this card for you, Miss Kathy. It says leap. It says leap. So what is it that you have been avoiding? And I want to say that your message is to go forward, to take that breath, believe that the spirit, that the universe has your back, and take that step forward. I would be so honored to give you more information on another day. I make this mental switch in my head where I disconnect, and my sincerest apologies, Kathy, you came right after I did that. But I would love to invite you to come back. And if you want to message me, that's totally fine. And hopefully you will join us again. But for you, I want to say leap, take the leap of faith, my new friend, take the leap of faith. And I will look forward to seeing you all here on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, for some meditation. Thank you for spending some time. Know that you are loved. You are so truly loved. You are loved more than you could ever imagine. Those in the universe, there is only love. Mwah. Thank you for joining me. See you soon.